Christiansen, and I am your master teacher for kids and teenagers. Today, we would like to talk to you about how actors adjust their style according to the different scripts that they receive. On a daily basis, these working teens who have joined me today receive different kinds of scripts and sides, as we call them here, from their agents and managers. And one of the things I've noticed about asking an actor to adjust their style is how stiff they become. And the concept is something that kind of freaks everybody out. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what happens to these particular actors when they receive a script that's different than the one, say, they had yesterday. So we're going to start with Miranda. Miranda, when I know that you have done a lot of Disney and Nickelodeon things, but I also know you've done things like ER. You've been a guest star on ER. What happens to you when you look at, say, a Disney audition as opposed to an ER audition?
I think I have a different mindset when it comes to both. When I look at a Disney script, I definitely think energy and I think happy, but when I look at an ER script, I look at it's real. It's more everyday life. It's like you're not really acting in a way. It's like you're just thinking of yourself as if you were in that situation. As opposed to Disney, you're like, oh, happy time, you know? So I definitely look at the differences in that.
That makes sense. So, Mason, I know that you do a lot of work on Nickelodeon. I know that you have a recurring role, and I know that they've written roles for you. And they've taken one role from one show to another show on Nickelodeon. Good for you. But what happens to you, say, when you receive a soap opera script?
I think when you receive scripts that are definitely contrasting, because I know, obviously acting for Nickelodeon is definitely different from acting for a soap opera, or even variations between film and television. It's always about choices, and I think adjusting yourself for the type of script that you're working on, or the type of character and that sort of thing. So whenever I get soap operas, it's more about like having to know yourself as an actor and know what you need to do personally in order to get that side of you out, or in order to get the best performance that you can according to the type of script that you're working on or character that you're playing.
That totally makes sense. Great. So Zach, you are a Disney guy. You do a lot of work on Disney, and that's kind of been something that is very natural for you. What happens to you when you, say, get a feature film script for an audition?
When I get a feature film script, I actually get really excited, because that's really what I'd like to do eventually. I've always looked forward to becoming a feature film actor. It's really something I'd like to develop and be able to do, because I just love going to the movies and seeing people on screen. That it's like, that could be me one day. But it's definitely a transition, because a lot of feature films, not all, but a lot of them are very toned down from the average Disney stuff, so it's an adjustment.
Great. So, tell me what happens to you when you get an episodic drama script as opposed to your usual commercial and hosting scripts.
When I get an episodic script, I get really excited because it's a really nice change from more of the fun commercial stuff, which I love to do also. But I really love episodics because it's something that you get to kind of sink your teeth into and really show your range, and really kind of get to expand yourself. And even though it's a short little lived time as maybe a guest star or something, you really get to get into it and really have fun with it, and yeah.
Go deep.
Yeah.
And then increase your internal landscape.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Marcus, you're one of those guys who loves sketch comedy, and that's kind of your thing, and you come up with all these great characters, and they're comedic and theatrical. What adjustments come to mind for you when I hand you, say, a script from The Social Network, which I have done in class, and which is a very dramatic feature film? What goes on inside your head when you see that?
Well, I like to do lots of different characters. I'm really good at playing different things, and I preferably play something that's completely different than what I've already played before. I don't know why, I just like to do that. And so I like comedy, but I sometimes prefer drama just because it's easier to get into almost, and I like to experimenting in method acting and doing some of that stuff. So when I did The Social Network, I didn't want to copy Jesse Eisenberg, but I watched the movie, and then, because I was already a fan of the movie, and then I tried to play something completely different. Like, I went for more of something like Jack Nicholson, kind of, if that sounds kind of weird, but yeah, and like more of an angry character rather than a nerdy guy, so.
You did, and it worked. So we're gonna get some scripts now. We're going to vary the kinds of scripts that I hand each of you. And we're going to talk about taking the concept of changing your style to taking it toward more changing your behavior, the character's behavior in a set of circumstances, so that nobody gets stiff when we talk about adjust your style. It's really going to focus on the character's behavior. So shall we get some scripts and get started, guys?
Yes.
Great. Let's do it. I have chosen an iCarly script for the two guys here today, for Mason and Zach, and they are going to be playing Fleck and Dave. Guys, Fleck and Dave are Dumb and Dumber. They are over the top. I want to demonstrate your Disney Nickelodeon style, and I want you to, they're in a truck, and let's just go ahead and show them the behavior of two guys who are really not smart and a little crazy. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's cold read a little from this.
Well, this is just great, isn't it? Just duck it.
Calm down.
How can I? What if the cops come and find out we're 14?
I'll show them my fake license.
Oh, perfect. Because the cops are really going to believe you're a 43-year-old doctor named Beverly Moskovitz.
I happen to be a quarter Jewish.
You're a quarter maniac. And you're going to be the one who apologizes to Carly and Sam, not me.
You act like this is all my fault.
Yeah, because it is.
How was I supposed to know that this truck was going to have a stroke and die?
Well, let's see. It was built in the 1970s and has over 300,000 miles on it. A can of cream corn could have guessed this truck wouldn't have made it.
Now I want some cream corn. I saw the car sleep. Figured you'd be alone.
Mellow.
Your nanny's home, right? And those guys in suits who walk around outside, are they security guards?
Kind of.
But your parents aren't here.
My mom doesn't live here anyway. She got married to someone else.
Mine too. His name is Sebastian, and I'm supposed to call him uncle. How dumb is that? He's not my uncle. He's some rich guy whom my mom married who only pretends to like me so that my mom will think he's great.
It's kind of how it is with my mom and her new husband.
What about your dad? I mean, is he mad your mom got remarried? My dad was, but he won't say it. He just tells me I have to respect my mother's choices, and then he leaves.
Okay, you guys are doing a great job, but what I'm going to have you do, Mason, is sit up just a little, just because I want to see a little bit more of your face.
My dad says he loves me. And maybe he does. But he's never around anymore. So how would I know?
You don't know. We couldn't know if they love us unless they tell us. And they don't.
Why do they even have us?
First of all, I want to point out that Marcus changed his look for this role. That's another thing that helps us adapt our style or our behavior to various kinds of roles. Obviously, this film well, what would you call it? It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going on internally with these characters. Their behavior is, they have high stakes in everything that they do.
Phoenix is a good one.
Are we still talking about finals clubs?
I'm gonna be straightforward and tell you that I think you should be a little more supportive, okay? If I get in, I will be taking you to parties and be introducing you to people that you won't normally get to meet.
Oh, you would do that for me?
You're my girlfriend.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be straightforward and tell you that I'm not anymore.
What do you mean by that?
I'm not your girlfriend anymore.
This isn't funny, all right?
It's not a joke.
You're breaking up with me?
You're going to introduce me to people I wouldn't normally get to meet? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Hey, calm down, all right?
What was it supposed to mean?
Okay, I like what you're doing. I want to go back a couple of lines. And what I want you guys to do is play your surroundings a little bit more. Remember, you're in a crowded college cafe, bar, and status is very important to you.
All right.
Remember that about your character as you adjust your style. You don't want people to hear you get dumped in public. She's the last thing you have, you know. And Danny, make sure that reaction is more internalized than external. Let's go back a couple of lines. The reaction is just a little tiny bit big. Remember, this is hard for her too. This is hard for her too.
You're breaking up with me?
You're going to introduce me to people I wouldn't normally get to meet? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Take it easy, all right?
What was it supposed to mean?
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank all of you for the great work, the great adjustments, the great style changes, and we'll see you next time.